No cap, no cap, no cap. Like this though.
Mm. Again, I go back to being honest with yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you said that, that's what made me say.
That's where that go, because you gotta be able. A lot of us is scared of ourselves. You know what I mean? You know, and
Yeah.
when I say that, man, we scared to really get in there and say. But you know, the crazy part is the the way the world is working now. More of us is getting to that part where like, yo, we got to start healing.
Yeah.
We got to start healing and start getting some of this baggage off of us. You know what I mean? Because we carry around a lot of pressure. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, a lot of resentment, a lot of turmoil. We carry a lot, and when we start healing ourselves, it's like taking some of that stuff off. Hey, hold this for me. Get this off. And let me put this down. Let me put this down. And once you start doing that, you start to feel a little bit lighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Oh, absolutely.
you can keep that. I don't even want that no more. And that's what we got to do. We got to start holding ourselves taking accountability. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? For
Self-accountability.
ourselves, take
Absolutely.
yeah, take accountability for yourself, and then, like you say, man, acknowledge the problem, get to the root of it, and not just look at the surface. Don't just look at the leaf, like you say, man. Go into the dirt, man. Let's get into the dirt. Let's go to the store where it started at. What caused you to do
Yes.
this, and why did
Yes.
you do it, and
Yes.
why did you know what I'm saying? But give yourself
Absolutely.
permission and say, hey, you know what? At that time, it's what I had to do, so I did it. But okay, now you did it. You make the decision. This is where you got from it. You took the lesson from it. Now let it go. Don't let the lesson go, but let that go and move forward. And that's what we got to give ourselves permission to say, guess what? I did what I had to survive.
Yeah. Most people
That's
are not in the practice of that. Most people are not in the practice of practicing best habits. Like most people are not, it's not a practice to challenge bad habits and overcome bad habits. That's not a practice that the average person is in. Most individuals are not taught to focus on best practices and identify bad habits and change those bad habits for the better. That's not a practice that most people are in. So the first thing that people have to do is start to be in the practice of best practices. Start to be in the practice of having goals and having best practices to
how
achieve
do
a
you
goal
challenge a bad habit?
very easily. I shouldn't say very easily, maybe because that might come across, but very easily in this is there's some easy things you can do, but it may not. If it was so easy, everybody would already be doing
Everybody
it.
be doing it right.
You know what I'm saying? So I say easily from a spot
A
of
point of
I
experience.
can tell you
Hmm.
from experience.
Right.
So I have every 30 days, like the first is coming up, I send out a goal sheet. It's a form that I created for all of my members, and it's a habit/form sheet. And we write
Hmm.
down their top 5 worst habits and their
Hmm.
top 5 goals.
Hmm.
And then we look at those top 5 and we say, okay, what's out of these top 5? What's the one that you want to work on for the next 30 days? Choose one of the 5. They choose one. And now from that moment forward, we don't focus on the negative bad habit no more. We focus on the opposing good habit for the next 30 days and
Hmm.
putting that into practice every single day. So let's go back to procrastination. If somebody has an issue with procrastinating for the next 30 days, everything they do is going to be about scheduling things better, being on time better, adhering to a schedule better, being early, and making sure that they do that every day, having some type of win that and something towards their goal. So you set real goals, you identify the bad habit. That's the first answer to your question. You got to
Hmm.
identify the bad habit first.
Hmm.
Because remember,
Hmm.
the solution is always in the problem, but the problem is identifying what the real problem is. So the
Right.
first thing that you have to do is you have to identify the bad habit. Because if a person is okay with all of their habits, they're not bad to them. If a motherfucker
Right.
is okay with smoking every day, that ain't a bad habit to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? If a person is
Right.
okay with being late everywhere and they come up with excuses, then you know what I mean? So first thing you gotta identify the bad habit. Then
Right.
you have to identify what's the opposite of that.
Mm.
what's the opposite of this bad habit? Because if you can identify the bad, the opposite is the good. Well, shit. let's do the good for let's put that into practice. So first is
Mm.
identifying what the bad habit is.
Identify the bad habit. I like that. I like that. I like that.
And
Well,
then
go ahead.
become a person that's in the practice of, like I said, well, that's what the question was, but now you start to become in a practice and then make that one of those things like that's a craving. That should be a craving.
So
To
pretty
go,
much what you're saying is see the bad habit, see the solution. You know
yes.
that's the bad habit, focus on the solution.